Guten Morgen, friends. How are you all doing? It might be Monday, but it's now commonly known as Ralf Rangnick Day. David Ornstein from The Athletic confirming this morning that Manchester United are expected to announce the official announcement. It's already been done if you're Eric Bailly anyway. We're going to be announcing Ralf Rangnick as Manchester United's new interim manager between now and the end of the season. I'm going to bring you all the news on that. We're going to run through all the more reaction to that game against Chelsea yesterday. But it's Ralf Rangnick Day. What a beautiful way to start the week. I'll tell you what, I've been impressed by Manchester United's results in the last week, given how everything that's happened at the club. I'm going to be speaking about that and praising Carrick for that. But let's waste absolutely no time. I'm live a little bit early today because Spidey senses are telling me that United might well announce Rangnick earlier in the day rather than later, but you never really know. I'm just glad that United are getting it done. We still don't know whether or not Rangnick's going to be in charge for the Arsenal game. But let's jump straight into the news. I'll run through everything that David Ornstein has said on Ralf Rangnick, so you don't have to read it. So make sure you drop a like on the video. Make sure you leave your comments in. Charles, I see you watching from Australia. Good morning to you. We've got Samuel watching from Sierra Leone. And there are plenty of you watching all around the world. I hope you're doing great. Of course you are, because it's Ralf Rangnick Day. Let's get straight into it. Boom. Ornstein, Agent Rangnick. Manchester United are prepared for Ralf Rangnick's arrival as interim manager. Speaking about a creditable draw at Chelsea, and the Germans should be boosted in the next month or so when Paul Pogba returns from injury. I'm not sure whether Paul Pogba is really going to flourish inside this Rangnick system. I did my predicted 11. Not predicted 11, but I looked at how Manchester United could line up under Ralf Rangnick, and Pogba for me was probably the biggest question mark out of all the midfielders that we have, if I'm being completely honest. I'm not really sure. But I can't rule it out. But anyway, let's go on and let's see what. But come on. We don't care about this. Blah, 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 blah. Rangnick watched United's 1-1 draw at Stamford Bridge on television in Germany and had no contact with the players or coaching staff or any input on team selection. Gary Neville before the game yesterday saying, well, that team looks like it's been chosen by Ralf Rangnick. I never said that Rangnick chose that team. But I did say in my match reaction title, you saw, I think he influenced that team. I don't think he directly influenced, said, Michael, right, choose this player, choose this formation. I don't think he did that. But Carrick would have had in his head, he would have known what's coming next. He knows that Rangnick's about to be announced. So I think what he did yesterday was a bit of a nod towards Rangnick, playing with that false 9, playing with a more mobile front 3, taking Ronaldo out, big call. Manchester United didn't win, so was it the right call or not? We'll get into that, and we'll get into the Roy Keane and Jamie Carragher debate that happened yesterday on Sky Sports, because that was absolutely mad. Absolutely mad. But yeah, here's the big news this morning from David Ornstein. His appointment is expected to be confirmed in the next 24 hours, but it is not yet clear whether his first game in charge will be Thursday's visit of Arsenal or Crystal Palace's trip to Old Trafford on December the 5th. So right now, we don't know whether or not Ralf Rangnick is going to be in charge for the game against Arsenal on Thursday. And yeah, going down and reading a little bit more, I was going to explain that, but it's written there. There is still some uncertainty over when Rangnick's visa process will be completed, following his face-to-face meetings in London's Mayfair with United's hierarchy last week. Unusually for a world-class manager, Rangnick has not used an agent during his talks with United, opting to represent himself in negotiations. Yeah, big fan of that. Ralf Rangnick, he does it all his way. I don't need an agent. Minarola, get stuffed. I'm doing it. But yeah, apparently it's going to be the visa. If Rangnick isn't in charge of Manchester United against Arsenal on Thursday, it won't be because Manchester United haven't made the announcement or anything like that. It will simply be down to the legalities behind the visa and whether Manchester United can get that done in time to get Rangnick in the dugout to face Arsenal on Thursday. I hope he is. I really hope he is. Arsenal, fair play to them. They've really turned things around under Arteta. They've consistently found a really good run of form, and it'll be a very interesting game. Of course, regardless of whether Rangnick is in charge for that Arsenal game or whether it's Crystal Palace, it's going to be extremely difficult for Ralf Rangnick to implement his style and his philosophy and his processes in such a short space of time. But that's what Manchester United have forced upon themselves with the way that they've sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We could have had that 2-week international break when Rangnick came in, got settled, started to meet the players. But instead, he's got to do that whilst having a game every 3 days. So it's going to be a bit crazy. But Rangnick, according to David Ornstein, and remember, David Ornstein was the man who broke the Rangnick news. Fair play to him. Out of nowhere. David Ornstein. 3-pointer. Lovely. Fat Door saying, why is the visa taking so long? Anything to do with Brexit? I'm unsure on that, if I'm being completely honest, but maybe. I have no idea how long visas take. I remember when I got the visa for Ghana, that took ages. Maybe that was just because it was Ghana. I don't know. I don't know whether it's different inside European countries, XYZ. I haven't got a visa in a while. But apparently it's going to be the visa, which is a bit annoying, really, if I'm being completely and utterly honest. So Dave, you're saying it might be today or tomorrow. Yeah, 24 hours. But look, let's just, at some point, you're going to be here on this stream with me, and we're all going to be buzzing and reacting to the official news that Ralf Rangnick is Manchester United's manager. What do you think about the performance yesterday? Do you think that was a nod towards a Rangnick style? Manchester United, look, we didn't completely press as a team. We know that. There were parts where United pressed and there were parts where United didn't press. But Manchester United won possession 6 times in Chelsea's half, and only Newcastle have beaten that this season. Funnily enough, I don't know how it's Newcastle. Manchester United were really aggressively pressing when it worked. Fred won the ball back 3 times more than any other player on the pitch. Fred, arguably man of the match yesterday. As I said in my video, taking a look at the potential 11 under Ralf Rangnick, I said that Fred is probably going to be the player that shines the most. Fred, I think Donny van der Beek, and I think Sancho. And Sancho, we're speaking there. Exciting one. Josh saying, hang on, early start, Sam. It is an early start. Good morning to all of you. I apologise about the slightly early start. It's 9 o'clock. It's not 9:30, Sam. What are you doing, mate? I'm eating my cereal. Come on. Selfish. I know. But I had to go a little bit earlier today simply because I don't want to get caught live on the stream here with you when the announcement gets done. So I want to get our nice morning. We always have our morning streams. It's part of the day. How are we all doing? You let me know in the comments. But yeah, I had to go slightly early today just in case the Rangnick announcement is earlier than anybody expected. Abid here with a great comment. Eric Bay confirmed to RMC Sport about Ralf Rangnick. Who needs an official announcement about a manager when you've got Eric Bay in the team, right? Nobody. You don't need that at all. Eric Bay last night. Yeah, we've been told about the new manager. Oh crap! I'm not supposed to say, am I? Whoops. Eric Bay, man, he's always good for entertainment purposes. I will give him that. But Eric Bay, yeah, confirming the announcement inside the dressing room. Everybody knows now that Ralf Rangnick is coming in. Of course they do. They've known since last week. They've known for a while. Comment there from Gurav saying, hi, Sam. Can you explain the difference between a sporting director, a technical director, and a director of football? Well, that's a heavy question for 10 past 9 in the morning, but I'll do my best. They can, bring my chair forward. They can effectively be the same job. The titles don't necessarily represent completely different roles. But Manchester United, what we're looking at now, according to reports anyway, these are all the initial reports coming out about Rangnick, is saying that he might be coming in for that consultancy role after the interim job, but he might step into the sporting director position. And what that would mean, that if you're a sporting director, instead of a director of football, it's quite simple. You're directing the football, right? Anything to do with the footballing team. When Ralf Rangnick was a sporting director inside the Red Bull brand, and he was a sporting director of Red Bull Salzburg in Austria, Red Bull Leipzig in Germany. I think they've got a Brazilian team as well. It's a sporting director is somebody who oversees everything inside that brand, not just the football, but in terms of the whole operation. It's more like a director of operations role, really, but with a footballing mind. It's difficult, really. They're quite similar roles, but they do have subtle differences. And yeah, Ralf Rangnick is a man who's got experience doing absolutely everything. But what did you think about that game yesterday? I apologize, everyone, that I didn't do the arms wasn't open yesterday. Yeah, life got in the way, but the match reaction was out there. And yeah, I'll tell you what, it was I don't know. It depends how you look at it, really, because it was a game where United frustrated Chelsea for the first half, for sure. We squeezed out the space in the game. We went there. We were massive, massive underdogs. Everybody expected Manchester United to get pumped yesterday, and we stifled them, really. We may not have had chances inside the front half, but we didn't. Oh, yeah, look. Or I'm sure you can see here, the lava lamp is up there. I can never point properly. The lava lamp. It's looking pretty lavary now, actually. Is that a thing? Lavary? And I'm gonna have to rework the screen. But the lava lamp's there. We've also got a little light up there too. And ladies and gents, you wait until it's Christmas, because there's going to be a United People's TV Christmas tree there. And you're going to have the chance to decorate it and win some prizes. Seriously, you may as well call me Santa. You may as well call me Santa. Whew. And you're saying we thought we absolutely took a battering. I disagree. Of course, United took a battering, but we set up in that style. And we said, look, I tell you what, Bailly and Lindelof, they look pretty decent. Other than the first 20 minutes, half an hour, when they scared the crap out of me, I thought they settled into the game. Up the Rangnick Red, says Chris. Up the Rangnick Regs. I'm gonna play the national anthem at some point. Paul, you're saying I enjoyed the game, but we were robbed with a soft penalty. In my opinion, I don't really understand that. I mean, it was an obvious penalty. It really was. I know it wasn't purposeful, but it was just a very poorly mistimed attempt at a clearance from Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and he absolutely booted the back of Thiago Silva's leg. I'm not really sure how anybody can. I'm not sure how anybody can really argue that wasn't a penalty. I'm just being completely honest there. Just being completely honest. Right. Anyway, let's get back into the Rangnick news. I'm getting distracted. Woo. But yeah, I'm absolutely dead excited about what happens today. I'll tell you one thing though. This is I would say this is quite startling. This is the job that Ralf Rangnick has got on his hands. If you take a look at Rangnick's Red Bull Leipzig in the 2018-19 season in the Bundesliga, and you compare it to Manchester United this season in the Premier League, look at the comparison in the stats. It's mind-boggling. You've got Leipzig were first for tackles, first for pressures, second for pressures in the final third, first for interceptions, recoveries, opponent errors leading to shots, and first for goals conceded. Manchester United this season, wow, we are 20th for tackle. Maybe this has changed after yesterday, but going into the game yesterday, 20th for tackles, 19th for pressures, 17th for pressures in the final third, 19th for interceptions and recovery, bottom for opposition errors leading to shots. My word. Woo! Jeez, that is a hell of a job. And this is what I said on Twitter. I said, good luck, Ralf. Because that is a hell of a job he's got to come into. And this is what I mean. It's not going to be an overnight success story with Ralf Rangnick. And no one really is expecting it to be an overnight success story. But yesterday, and that's what I mean. I don't think the game against Chelsea was. If you look at how we played against Villarreal, and compare it to Chelsea and compare it to where we were a week ago, there's clear influence, in my opinion, from Ralf Rangnick on that team. Not directly. I said he's not on the phone telling Carrick what to do, but Carrick in his mind is thinking, right, okay, this is where we're going towards. Okay, this is the team I'm going to put out today. And I think, as I said, it was a nod towards that. Bruno Fernandes didn't really work in that false nine, if I'm being completely honest. It was a proper chaotic performance from him. Jadon Sancho, though, it's going to be fantastic to watch him under Ralf Rangnick. Really is. It's going to be the sort of Dortmund, more heavy metal style, if you want to call it that, but pressing with intensity, and his desire, and I tell you what, his confidence yesterday. I was going to speak about Jadon Sancho later, but tell you what, I'm just getting it in now. I'm getting it in now. Jadon Sancho yesterday for that finish. I'm not sure if you saw it. Maybe go watch the replay again and watch his little shot feint that he does to Mendy when he sort of kind of opens his body up, and it kind of looks like he's going to go towards Rashford, who, by the way, was Rashford offside the entire time, that Jadon Sancho had the ball. It's like quite possibly the simplest thing, just to stand behind him. Just that the square ball was open. I'm not even sure it actually was. I may be being unfair. Maybe he was right on the line, but he was on the line instead of just dropping back by like 1 or 2 steps and giving him the answer. But yeah, Manchester United scored that goal against Chelsea because Sancho and Rashford sprinted and they created pressure onto Jorginho and they forced the error. That wouldn't have happened if Manchester United, if those two lads weren't there. I thought they played brilliantly in the first 10 to 15 minutes of that second half. They really, really nailed it. And Rashford and Sancho went off, and I think the kind of momentum left Manchester United. Lingard came on for Rashford, I think, and Ronaldo came on for Sancho. And yeah, we lost that spark. And then it sort of invited Chelsea onto us, and obviously the penalty. But yeah, we were effectively one rash decision by Wan-Bissaka away from winning 1-0 at Stamford Bridge against a team who I would say probably one of the informed teams in Europe, certainly one of the informed teams in the Premier League. And no one expected that. Nobody expected that. We go down here and read a few of your comments out, because I tell you what, it's busy and it's exciting now. Look, last week was full-blown mental, really, to cover as a United fan and here on United People's TV. From the Watford game on Saturday to to being at the bottom of the pit, like we were at the bottom. We couldn't get. I thought we couldn't get any lower than Liverpool, and lo and behold, you lose 4-1 to Watford. And Solskjaer was at, and then I was out there, went out Saturday night to a comedy show, had to leg it back because the announcement was coming out that Solskjaer was going to be sacked. Then Solskjaer was sacked on Sunday morning. Then we had a 72-hour period, which was just balmy. We were linked with every single manager under the sun. We were linked with Valverde. We were having talks with him. Lucien Favre having talks with him. Paulo Fonseca having talks with him. And then Ralf Rangnick was the man who I wanted, who you wanted, a lot of us wanted. And then the Rangnick story came out. And wow. And then it just blew up. And then inside that, you've got Villarreal. And inside that, you've now got this game here against Chelsea. It really has been absolutely mad. A mad 7 days involving 2 games, a trip to Spain, and now we've got a new manager on the verge of being announced. And now we've got games galore. Arsenal on Thursday, Crystal Palace on Sunday, and then I don't know who we've got. Is it Young Boys then in the week after? And then you go the craziness of the Christmas fixture period. It's well, I've no idea what's coming up next, but it's exciting, that's for sure. It is exciting. I'm going to read a few of your comments out now, see what you're thinking. Oh my God. That has to be one of the worst things I've ever seen in my entire life. From Fred, who, in my opinion, probably I saw Scott McTominay was given man of the match by Sky, and don't know whether I'm being unfair or not, but it had me doing that. I was like, how did Scott McTominay get man of the match in that? I thought McTominay was okay. I thought he did his job in sort of that disruptive type of role, but Fred was much better in that disruptive role. You know, it was truly horrendous. Decision making. Fred knows he can't shoot, let alone chip. And let alone chip when there was I think Lingard was square. I don't know whether Lingard was completely on or whether Ronaldo had space. But I think Fred could have made a better decision than trying to chip Mendy. And it was like Mendy just rolled the ball out to him. And then Fred was like, no, you know what, mate? Have this back. I'd feel bad if I scored from this one. Have it back. We'll call it quits. We'll call it quits. That's what it looks like. Yeah. Golden Boy saying Mendy is still laughing at Fred for that chip. Well, I don't think any United fans are laughing, that's for sure. But people who are going in on Fred because of that and overlooking what was a pretty damn fantastic performance from him. Yeah. Fred, like every footballer is limited in certain areas. We all know Fred has his limits and what he's good and what he is not good at. Shooting, not his forte at all in any way, shape or form. But Fred yesterday in that role as the disruptor, know him only as the disruptor. That's what he's there for. And that's what he is the best at inside this Manchester United squad. I think without him there in that midfield, the energy is not there. And I know it's not passion and desire. And it's not just that. But without that, the talent means nothing, right? We know that. That's what Manchester United have failed to do. And that is why, for me, Rangnick, because what we saw yesterday, right? We saw Manchester United lining up in that system. And the players, I think, out of possession, the players kind of seemingly knew what to do. They knew what spaces to operate in. They knew when to press. They knew what, compare that to how we played against Liverpool out of possession. And it's completely and utterly different. Completely different. But in possession yesterday, we had no idea what to do. The players were seemingly confused as about when to drop a little bit deeper to receive the ball, when to make the runs in behind. They aren't coached in that sort of system. That's what we need to see Ralf Rangnick coming in and doing that with us. Because as I said, I think yesterday was a bit of a nod to the Ralf Rangnick style of football we'll play. But in possession, we were very, very poor. Look, toothless, limp, like a wet noodle. So, don't know. We'll see what goes on there. And is Matic going to play in this system under Rangnick? I'm not sure. Again, a little bit slow, but he does offer the protection to screen the defense because he basically was able to just stand there yesterday because Fred and McTominay were just buzzing about covering all the space. Matic was like, well, I can just sit in front of the back four and not do much else. When is the announcement, says Nizwin? The announcement, as we can see here from Sir David of the Ornstein, saying his appointment is expected to be confirmed within the next 24 hours. But it is not clear whether his first game in charge will be Thursday's visit of Arsenal or Crystal Palace's trip to Old Trafford on the 5th. So, and the only reason that's going to be the case, Nizwin, and everybody else who's joining in, welcome aboard. Welcome to United People's TV. Please drop a like on the video and subscribe if you're new. Yeah, we don't know whether the visa is going to go in time, and that might stop Ralf Rangnick from being announced. I don't know. I hope not, but we can't. We can't. I don't know. We won't know. Jack D. Is it that Jack D? I don't think it is. McTominay buzzed around yesterday. Left me, I thought. Look, I thought McTominay was okay, but Fred was far better. So I was confused as to why he was given the man of the match. Maybe it's because he was a bit aggressive and he certainly got that aggression. He's always got that aggression. But yeah, if you're looking at limited footballers, I think McTominay is one of them as well. But I think Ralf Rangnick will use them correctly. What did you think about Donny van der Beek not playing yesterday? I know lots of people, I think we go a little bit overboard in our praise of Van der Beek because of how bad our midfield has been. But I personally think Van der Beek strikes me as a player who will really thrive inside a Rangnick system. Somebody who's like more press resistant, more used to playing in quick, high tempo football, one-touch passing, incision, triangles. Yeah, he's worked at Ajax. He's been schooled in a very different style of football to what Manchester United have been playing basically since he came in. So I think he'll really, really thrive there. Let's go down here. You're pro McFred now, says Sean. I've always been pro McFred when they're used in the correct fashion. And that doesn't necessarily mean they're being used together. I think that's the issue. I think Fred and McTominay both individually have attributes and characteristics that make them okay squad players for Manchester United. Fred more so than McTominay, I would probably argue. McTominay strikes me as what he does well. Van der Beek could also do quite well, but then have a far better passing range than McTominay. So could be somebody who helps create far more. But Fred and McTominay together, that's when the weaknesses. As I said, it's a bit like playing Maguire and Lindelof together. Both, in my opinion, on their own good defenders, play them together and the weaknesses exacerbate each other. The weaknesses are exacerbated by each other. They get worse when they play alongside each other. I think the same, in my opinion, will probably go for Fred and McTominay. But I think overall, they're both going to play decent roles under him. Of course, we know what we're missing in that midfield, and we're missing our Kante. And Rangnick will miss that Kante. And what you're going to see all season, maybe until January, we don't know, right? Fingers crossed. Because Ralf Rangnick, when he comes in, right, he's going to come into Manchester United on a 6-month contract until the end of the season. Actually, I think when is it? I think he might get, I don't know. Anyway, he's going to be interim until May. We know that. And then he's going to move upstairs into a consultancy role. That should mean that when Rangnick comes in and if it was any other manager in that position in January, they wouldn't be given any money to spend. They're only an interim manager. Why are you going to give them any money? It's different when Rangnick's going to come in and say, look, this is my team until now to the end of the season, but the what we're aiming for in the 2 years after, when I'm a consultant, I'm the sporting director or anything, we're also going to want these players in too. So he's going to start thinking about it and thinking ahead. And that's why I think that he should be given a bit of money to spend in January on defensive midfielder. Cracking comment coming in there from Stefan that's making me smile this morning. The most boring voice ever. Really? I mean, I'm sure there's more boring voices. I just think you're feeling a bit, you got the Monday blues, Stefan? Come on, mate, give me a hug. Give me a hug, mate. Give me a hug. When's the Ballon d'Or? I don't care, Jonas. Sorry about that. Man United have got, hopefully it goes to Lewandowski. If it goes to anybody else apart from Lewandowski, it is an utter fix. Simple as that. Something that happened yesterday, which we definitely got to speak about this morning. What was your reaction to this yesterday? Roy Keane and Jamie Carragher effectively, because Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank was sitting in the middle, smiling the entire time, trying to diffuse the situation, They went in on each other. And it was really kind of around Cristiano Ronaldo, because Jamie Carragher was asking, Jamie Carragher was arguing that, look, Cristiano Ronaldo might be scoring all the goals, but Ronaldo doesn't suit the style that Manchester United are going to be going toward under Rangnick. And then Roy Keane's like, what are you talking about? It's Cristiano Ronaldo. I know he's not going to start every game, but it's Chelsea away. How do you not start Cristiano Ronaldo in Chelsea away? I would do a reaction video to this, but with everything that's going on with Ralf Rangnick, I don't think I'll have time today. Maybe I can do it later in the week. I'm not sure. But what's your reaction to this, eh? Because Ronaldo was dropped yesterday, and if you're looking at stats, this is quite an important stat here from, where is it? There was a stat here, I swear. Let me try and find this stat. It was from Laurie Whitwell, basically explaining how Manchester United have every game that Ronaldo started in the league, Man United have won. Every game he hasn't started, Manchester United haven't won. And he's just going to show the stats. And it kind of shows how important Manchester United, because we all agree, Cristiano Ronaldo is not the problem, all right? He's not. He might cause problems and question marks in terms of how you fit it in. And I've said this is a conundrum that Ralf Rangnick will have to sort. How do you implement a high intense pressing style whilst at the same time having the greatest goal scorer of all time as your number 9, when he's probably not going to run around that much by comparison because he's 36? It's going to be it's a hard question to answer. Let me go down here and see what you're thinking, what you thought about this. Keane was right, says Matthew. They bought Ronaldo to help us win cups, also for shirt sales and to raise prices. I think one thing we all here 100% agree on, Cristiano Ronaldo was not a long-term target for Manchester United. Cristiano Ronaldo was an opportunity that was taken. Similar sense, in my opinion, to Donny van de Beek. It was an opportunity. A, it was a way to stop him going City, and that was definitely part of it. And B, it was just like, it was Ronaldo, bring him back. It's not that you don't have to ask any questions about playing. That's Ronaldo. I think Ronaldo made it more difficult for Solskjaer this season tactically. I think if he came into the season with a plan and an idea, it didn't work because Ronaldo was in there and something had to change. So the thing is that they're both right in their own sense. And I suppose that's what makes it such an interesting debate and argument, because they're both definitely right, coming from different angles. Who's winning that fight, by the way? Type it in now. If it actually happened, who's winning that fight? I mean, anybody who would not back Roy Keane in a fight. Fair enough. I mean, I definitely would. I would definitely 100% back Roy Keane. I mean, Carragher, I reckon, would take a few. I reckon it'd be a decent fight. Don't reckon it'll be done in the first round. Or it might be. Roy Keane might just go full Mike Tyson. Don't know. Be a good fight, though. Not that I'm encouraging violence, right? I'm not encouraging violence, but, you know, as Cersei did once say, I choose violence. And I think Roy Keane would probably choose violence. Anthony, you're backing Keane, or you're backing Keane. Viknesh, everyone's backing Roy. Of course, everyone's backing Roy. That's where your money was going there. But yeah, curious question as well. Like, let's move on from that. Let's move back to the football. Let's not talk about violence here. It is, it is Monday. But yeah, I definitely back Roy Keane. But quick question, and this is an interesting one. And genuinely, who do you think was in Darren Fletcher's ears? Darren Fletcher was sitting there with his AirPods in, or whatever it was, earphones, and he was on the phone to somebody. Now apparently it wasn't Ralf Rangnick. Do you reckon it was Ole? I don't know who it was. Do you reckon it was important? I don't know. But Darren Fletcher definitely seemed more animated yesterday, more involved. It was I've not really seen Darren Fletcher operating like that before, so that was a little bit different, in my opinion. Let me go down here and see. So you don't think it was Rangnick? No one knows who it was. Fergie. Might have been Fergie. Might have been Ole. Says Siazwan. Diaz. There we go. Rangnick. It might have been Rangnick. It might have been someone. In terms of coaching staff, by the way, Lars Kornetka is the name that keeps getting banded around. We keep seeing reports coming out from Russian sources. At this moment in time, it hasn't gone any further than that. It's just stayed as Russian sources, saying that Lars Kornetka will be coming to Manchester United to become one of the assistants under Ralf Rangnick. So the coaching staff at this moment in time, there's not any sort of confirmed strong reporters reporting on it just yet. So I'm sure that'll continue to develop, and maybe we'll hear it inside the official announcement from Manchester United, which hopefully hopefully it comes today, which should come today. As I said, David Ornstein saying that it should be happening in the next 24 hours. Warren saying Sam's on form this morning. Missed 2 super chats. Oh, balls. My bad. I can't see him though. No, so super chats come up in a different color for me, and that's why it's easy for me to spot them, because there are quite literally thousands of comments that fly in. I can't see him anywhere. Sorry about that. Fletcher had a fight with Azpilicueta, says Mo. Yeah, he did. As I said, Fletcher was a hell of a lot more animated yesterday. Maybe that's him just trying to flex, saying, look, Rangnick, mate, you want me in your coaching staff. I don't know who will be on that coaching staff. In my opinion, Mike Phelan shouldn't have a place on it. I think Mike Phelan was there to be the experienced head, right, of Manchester United's coaching setup, with Darren Fletcher, with Kieran McKenna, and with Michael Carrick. I think now that we've got Ralf Rangnick in, we don't need that experienced head anymore. So out of all of the coaching staff, I would say that he's the most likely to not be part of the new setup. When you've got young coaches like Carrick, McKenna, and Fletcher, look, all of us know that they are all part of the problem in terms of the lack of coaching, tactical knowledge, and everything that was wrong under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. All 3 of them were part of that. But I also would say with absolute confidence that all 3 of them would become better coaches under Ralf Rangnick's stewardship, and they would learn from him. Massively, they would learn from him. So I wouldn't be surprised if Manchester United kept some of them on. I don't know. Let me know what you think about that in the comments, because I would say it's probably one of the biggest questions, is the coaching setup and how Manchester United get it right this time. Clearly, we've now, in my opinion, got the best man at the helm that we could have asked for. Out of all the options that we had laid in front of us, and it still blows my mind, ladies and gents, it still blows my mind how Manchester United have just made the biggest footballing decision correctly that we have done I can't even remember a comparable situation where Man United could have chosen somebody else, right? Could have chosen somebody who didn't challenge the power structure of Manchester United. Basically, every other manager that was available would have been far more easy to manipulate than Ralf Rangnick. But instead, we've chosen the man who will want that autonomy, who will want that power, and who demanded a 2-year consultancy role to be built into his contract. Interim manager, we've basically just given him a 3-year contract in different varieties of roles. He's going to be the man that helps modernize our club, and it's going to be so exciting, man. It's going to be so exciting. Or you think that Phelan should retire like Alex Worldwide Wanderer saying Phelan can give the bibs out? Anthony, do we still want coaches learning on the job? No, not really, if I'm being completely honest. I think you can afford to have one. So whether that was who you're keeping out of, I don't know. I don't know. I really honestly don't know. In my opinion, so Thomas, you think that Carrick will stay, Fletcher will probably go. Fat Thor saying McKenna Academy, Carrick reserves team, Phelan, Salford. That might happen. Ragnick's call, Sam. It is completely Ragnick's call, and this has to be Ragnick's call, right? So no matter what we think, no matter what our opinions are, all I want is for Ralf Rangnick to make the decision on these coaches. Come in and say, you know what? I don't want Michael Carrick, Kieran McKenna, or Darren Fletcher, or Mike Phelan. Get rid of them all. Then the club has to get rid of them all. If Ralf Rangnick comes in and says, I want to keep Carrick and probably Fletcher, McKenna, I don't feel comfortable enough working with him. I'd rather he would move back into his own sphere, the academy. And remember, Ralf Rangnick is a man who's got great experience in. It's something that he did so well at Salzburg, I think in particular, identifying quality talent, European talent, and turning them into players that the clubs would sell on for a massive profit. It was a big part of the business model that allowed Red Bull, Salzburg, and Leipzig to sort of jump up the football ladder. That was their way of doing it, and they did it extremely well. So Manchester United fans, we should all be getting excited now about what our scouting system might start looking like and the developments that's going to come there. Because I'll be honest, Manchester United, maybe Ahmad. Look, Ahmad. I thought that Ahmad Diallo was going to be a bit of a change there. We went and we spent like 30-40 million on a teenager who hardly had any game time at all. in Serie A for Atalanta. And I thought, wow, maybe we've actually identified someone here who could be a real gem and a star straight away. A bit like Martial when we signed him from Monaco. And then Ahmad's obviously not played really since at all. What United will do now under Rangnick, I hope anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing that development of that side of things. And that's why Rangnick is such an exciting appointment by Manchester United. It's not just about the football that's going to be coming on the pitch and how that's different and changes. It's going to be about the club modernizing every single aspect behind the scenes and trying to really close the gap that's just been widening and widening with the likes of Chelsea, City, and Liverpool. Comment here from Vaishnav saying, we bought Ronaldo because of a very emotional reason. Jamie won't understand it because there's no legend like Ronaldo in his livelihood. I mean, Liverpool fans would disagree with you there. They'd probably be arguing Gerrard. They'd probably be arguing Gerrard. No one else. Emsa Ornstein says, Pogba is quite intrigued about Ralf coming in, but I don't see how he will fit the system. If we were to go over here and we were to look here at what David Ornstein said on Paul Pogba, let's have a quick conversation about Paul Pogba, Ray. Let me see what you think about it. Scroll up here. Pogba was ruled out. There you go. The midfielder continues to rehabilitate in Dubai, but he's said to be enthused by the idea of working under Rangnick, having received positive feedback about the 63-year-old, sorry, from contacts in the game. Now, what's your own opinion on Paul Pogba? Do you think Paul Pogba is a player who has the opportunity to shine under Ralf Rangnick? That I might be being unfair, that we can't rule Paul Pogba. He might well become an important player under Ralf Rangnick. Or do you think that Pogba, of course, we talked about Paul Pogba before. We know what the situation is. The story here is that Pogba will not be signing a deal with a foreign club in January. As a free agent in the summer, he would be allowed to sign pre-contract terms with clubs outside of the Premier League. If he wanted to go and sign that pre-contract with Real Madrid or Juventus, he could do it in January. But apparently he's not going to be doing that. But do you think that he could be a player that suits this system, this high intense pressing system, that Paul Pogba might play a completely different style under Ralf Rangnick? You let me know. I'm going to read a few of your comments here, and I'll give my opinion on it after that. Pogba will never give 100% for the club, says Mike. Aussie Reaper, you're saying Pogba is a good player, just has his bad moments. I don't think anybody will disagree with that. Kaiser's saying Kaiser Soze. Geez, what a character. So shame it's Kevin Spacey. If he hasn't done it by now, he's not coming. Pogba out. I think Paul will go. He can stay in Dubai and play at their beach football team for all I care. Let's go down here. Pogba is done, says Ant. He should have been sold last season. Sign or told last season. He's signed or you are gone. End of. Now, my opinion on Paul Pogba is... let's go down. My opinion on Paul Pogba is... I think Manchester United at this point are effectively begging Paul Pogba to sign that contract. If he's not signed it by now, we're not going to go back with improved, even more terms, because I think the offer already makes him one of the best paid players in the Premier League. Comment there about Pogba and Navarro. Didn't see that. And I don't want Manchester United to do that. I don't want Manchester United to bend over backwards for any player to sign. In my opinion, if a contract is on a table for any player at Manchester United and they go, you know what, I'm not signing that, then cool, just leave. I don't want Manchester United to go back and beg and back and beg and back. Maybe they can beg once. Maybe they can come back with another offer. That's kind of normal in negotiation terms. You don't accept the first offer, you come back with the second one, you agree on it. But United have effectively been begging with Paul Pogba for so long that at this point, I'm like, mate, just leave. We'll move on. The club will exist far longer than Paul Pogba will in football. And I'll begrudge the fact that it hasn't worked out properly with Paul Pogba, but I'd rather him leave and me have that frustration than me to see United continue to beg Paul Pogba to stay. And I don't want that. If you don't want to play for United, leave. Simple. Goes with anybody, not just Paul Pogba. Or players discovered, promoted, or signed by Ralf, Neuer, Kimmich, Konate, Upamecano, Alaba, Keita, Sabitzer, Werner, Firmino, Mane, Haaland. The future is bright, mate. The future is looking very German. That's all I know. And I love German beer, and I love a bratwurst. And sauerkraut. Some sauerkraut's nice, some sauerkraut's horrible. Chris, I would just let him go. He's had too many chances to prove his worth, and his wage demands are getting ridiculous. With Paul Pogba, with anyone, as I said, that's my firm opinion now. When it comes to Paul Pogba, I've sort of chopped and changed my opinion. It has definitely changed over time. I came out with an apology to Paul Pogba once when I said, "Look, man, maybe I made my assumptions too early. Maybe I jumped the gun with Paul Pogba," and then he sort of proved me right. And then it comes full circle and it swings each side. And that 3-month period after Solskjaer was given the job on a full-time basis, you remember how good Paul Pogba was there? I remember going to Fulham away at Craven Cottage. It was a game where Paul Pogba banged one in on his left foot. And I think he got an assist maybe for Martial that game. Pogba looked like a demon that day. Absolutely incredible footballer to watch. And he's so graceful when he plays properly. And I don't know, doesn't play with a chip on his shoulder. Or maybe does play with a chip on his shoulder. But with Paul Pogba, it's just, I want United to just move on, man, I think. I just want United to move on, draw a line in the sand, say, you know what? We've ballsed up here. We've lost Paul Pogba for free twice now. That's embarrassing. I don't know. I just don't think he's worth the circus anymore, in my opinion. And I don't want Manchester United to be stuck in the circus anymore. We've had years of it, man. Years of being a club that other people just laugh at. Let's move Paul Pogba on. Let's say that it didn't work out. And let's just go somewhere else, man. Di Maria didn't work on. We moved on. And not the end of the world. And Pogba won't end the club. Just, it is what it is. Abby, Pogba epitomizes the last 8 years. Big signings, under delivering. Credits Alec Beer. I concur with this. Hey, look, as I said, yeah, you're not wrong there. You're not wrong. And I'm sure that Pogba won't be short of options. Of course, he won't. It'll be a free transfer. The free transfer 11 this summer looks absolutely nasty. Absolutely nasty. Yeah, look, Kaiser Soze, you're right. Pogba was good when he came in, much more direct and fewer touches. And maybe that's why. Look, let's see what happens, eh? Because by the looks of things, we've got Paul Pogba until the summer. We've got Rangnick until the summer. We don't know how this story is going to be written. We just know it's going to be exciting to watch. Paul Pogba certainly cannot afford to stay in the same sort of style that he's been playing under the Rangnick system. Because as you can see here, I've already pulled these stats up. I'll pull them up again. Because honestly, these are mind-blowing. They really are mind-blowing. Manchester United this season are just not aggressive at all. Interceptions 19th, recoveries 19th, tackles 20th, and successful pressures 19th. Manchester United have got so much work to do. And if you're looking at Paul Pogba inside that system, yeah, Paul Pogba doesn't really put pressure on players too much. He doesn't really intercept the ball that much. He doesn't recover the ball that much. He doesn't put that many tackles in. He's more of a in possession footballer rather than an out of possession footballer. But what we need at Manchester United now is a real team of footballers who out of possession work together. And there's no breaks in that chain. Abby, join as a member, buddy. Good to see you there. Hey, look, everybody knows I'm sending out this. Who won it last week? We got Mo won the book. I can't remember who won the shirt. But remember, I gave 2 shirts away. Jeez, I forgot. I literally am Santa. Every single week, ladies and gents, you know what to do. CR7 shirt, baby. Still being given away on United People's TV to any member. Remember, this week, you automatically get entered into the draw every single week until Christmas and maybe over Christmas. And as I said, Santa is coming to town because there's going to be more giveaways over the Christmas period in the build up to 25th December. Going to get the Christmas tree there. Going to be decorating it. Going to hold a competition, right, for who can send in the best Christmas decoration to the PO box. And I'm going to choose the winner on Christmas Eve. I think what I'll probably do is I'm going to do a FIFA 22 giveaway. Don't know, I just thought about it off the top of my head. I'll do a FIFA 22 giveaway with a digital code. So I can give it away on, like, I don't know, Christmas Eve. And then you can download it in time for Christmas Day. Don't say I don't treat you well. So that's an option. So you want to join as a member. It's all good. Mike Lim, Samta, I want the shirt. Why? You might be winning it there. You might be winning it there. But look, and of course, as Josh is correct, anyone can win except Or, because we do fix. No, I don't fix them. All right. Just to let you know, I don't fix the draws on here. Woo! But yeah, Ornstein, back to the big story of today. If you're only just joining in, welcome to United People's TV. If last week was a madness, this week's just going to be pure, unadulterated excitement. Ralf Rangnick should be announced today. I've already done my detailed video on Rangnick's coaching philosophy and style. I've already done my detailed video on my the starting 11 that it could look like under him. I'm also going in this week. I'm going to try and do as much research as possible. What possible? I want to do a video on the Gegenpress. You know, what is Rangnick's pressing system? What are the actual pillars? If you go and you do like a deeper dive into that system, exactly what is it and how would it work? I want to do a video on that. I'm going to be taking a look, hopefully today, if I get time, I'm going to do a video on the 5 key things that Ralf Rangnick's got to come into Manchester United straight away and fix. What's his plan? What's Ralf Rangnick going to be doing straight away? And that's crucial because it has to happen immediately. Let's go down here. Warren has a comment here saying Rangnick should definitely get rid of the marquee signings. Philosophy once Woodwanker leaves. Hope Richard Arnold holds his promise of leaving football to the football gurus at United. Warren, I hope you're spot on there, my friend. And that was one of the most exciting things I saw was that. And that's why I really want to see Rangnick holding Manchester United to account on this, because that's what we've seen and read in the build-up to this appointment, that Rangnick is going to be allowed more autonomy, and that means like control on the footballing decisions. And that when Ed Woodward leaves, Richard Arnold is happy to sort of step aside and say, you know what, I'm not going to try and learn the football things. I'm not good at it. Therefore, you can do it, Ralf. I'll concentrate on the commercial side of things. And commercially, Manchester United have stagnated last 3-4 years. There's hardly been any sort of commercial growth. So Ed Woodward has failed in that respect. As good as he was in the start when he started bringing in the regional sponsors and all these different sponsors that Man United had, and our revenues went through the roof, really flatlined in the last 3 years. So Richard Arnold has a job to do there. And there's nothing, I call it, it's definitely a really good characteristic of an individual when somebody says, you know, I'm not good at doing that. I'm good at doing this. Let's be specialists. That's what Mourinho loved to do. Specialists say, geez, let's not go back to Mourinho. But yeah, Richard Arnold, stick to what you're doing and what you do well, and let someone like Ralf Rangnick come in and do what he has done well over a long history. And there was something really nice really nice. I suppose it was nice. There was an interview with Ralf Rangnick before the game against Chelsea, where he sort of explained in detail, because he was questioned, said, look, Ralf Rangnick, if he's that good a coach, why is he out in Russia? If he's that good a coach, why is he not won more things? And Ralf Rangnick just went into like a bit of it was a nice little monologue where he was explaining, say, look, it depends what you consider winning and what you consider success. Because for a man to come into a club and take them from the Bundesliga 2 up to competing for the Champions League, that's a success. That is winning. It might not come attached with a trophy at the end of it, but in terms of the project of where he started to where he finished, he was a huge success there. And then he goes into explain the same thing at Hoffenheim. And I say it makes you think differently, because Manchester United, our measure of success is trophies. But not every club's measure of success is a trophy at the end of it. And that's why he's been, he's built a lot of successful things. It just hasn't ended in silverware. But it does not mean that Ralf Rangnick has not been a success. And that's what I wanted to get into when I was explaining that. I might put that into a video as well. Mate, I can't wait to do all the Ralf Rangnick content this week. I still, honestly, I can't. I said at the start of the stream there, but I still can't believe it. I still cannot believe that my football club, Manchester United, have actually done this, and that we can all get really, truly, truly excited about what is coming up next, because it's going to be a massive shift from where we have been. And it's not just about the football. Of course, the football and the intense press we're going to be getting, the Gegenpress, is going to be exciting to watch, of course. But it's the modernisation that he's going to come in and bring to Manchester United. Sumia saying, ideal scenario for long-term success. Arnold delegates to Murto. Murto and Fletcher keep learning from Rangnick's advice. Yep, Fletcher, if he stays in that sort of... I think Fletcher will definitely stay under Ralf Rangnick. He's more like a technical director. He's not as... I think he was involved in a coaching capacity under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but I don't know whether that was because simply we didn't really have the coaching. So Solskjaer was like, just in he come, Darren, do a job. But Darren Fletcher, I think, will work more closely with John Murto than he will with Michael Carrick, for example, under Ralf Rangnick. So I think Darren Fletcher will stay, and it's the questions about whether or not Michael Carrick and Kieran McKenna will stay. They're the two men who really were tasked and in charge of first-team training. And that's what we're yet to see as to whether or not those two guys will come in or not. As I said, Lars Kornetka, that's the name being mentioned the most. Lars Kornetka was brought to Lokomotiv Moscow by Ralf Rangnick, has worked previously under Ralf Rangnick at Leipzig, has worked as an assistant manager, worked as an assistant manager under Julian Nagelsmann as well, and also worked as a video analyst under Pep Guardiola at Bayern Munich. My God, look at that knowledge. Knowledge up there. It's not even on screen. Just knowledge. Oh, unbelievable. But yeah, Lars Kornecke is apparently, that's the name that we're seeing being linked with the most. We've got no confirmation on that just yet. Going to wait to hear from the likes of David Ornstein or Laurie Whitwell or Fabrizio Romano on that. But there's no way that he's going to come into this club and not bring coaching staff with him. It's a case of who rather than if he will. There's no way, in my opinion. And if it is, I'll be absolutely staggered. Absolutely staggered. And it would sort of undo the good work that the Manchester United have done in appointing him. But yeah, I think that he's going to bring in probably 2 assistant coaches. That's what it strikes me as. And in that sense, there's definitely no space. You can't have 2 assistant coaches there and 2 more assistant coaches in McKenna and Carrick. That is definitely too many cooks spoil the broth. Let's go down here. Let me read a few of your comments out. How are you feeling about the game yesterday? Is there anything else you'd like me to mention and speak about in the reaction to that Chelsea game? Is there anything you want me to speak about in terms of Rangnick and today? But I hope we're here. I'm guessing, I don't know. Let's go like 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. We're going to be here absolutely buzzing our tits off on a Monday afternoon at the Ralf Rangnick announcement. I'm going to be playing the German national anthem on the live stream. I need to buy a German football kit. I need to learn all the lyrics. I won't be doing that. Maybe I will. To be fair, it's a pretty good national anthem, actually. Very powerful, I would call that. To me, Carrick should stay, says Chandiga. And it's something that I said, regardless of what happens with Michael Carrick moving forward, okay, this absolutely deserves to be said. I said this on Twitter yesterday, and I absolutely stand by it. I said, have to say props to Michael Carrick for the results that Manchester United got this week. After everything that has happened and the chaos around it, to come away with a win versus Villarreal to top the group and a point at Stamford Bridge is superb. He had a job to do in these 2 games, and he's done it spot on. And I stand true on that. I think Michael Carrick deserves a lot of credit for what Manchester United have done this week. It was, as I said, we were a club in proper tailspin, proper free fall, and we've managed to get a 2-0 win against Villarreal, our first clean sheet in a while, since Spurs, I suppose, and coming away from Stamford Bridge with a point 2, I think deserves praise, man. Deserves praise. And as I said, this is a man who we have absolutely slammed in the press. We've always said that Michael Carrick is part of the problem. We've always said that Michael Carrick can't do it, that Michael Carrick X, Y, Z. And what we've seen here is Carrick making big decisions and dropping Bruno Fernandes for the first 60 against Villarreal, and it worked. Bruno came on and was incredible. We've got here against Chelsea. Manchester United were expected to get pumped, and we played well. And I think we were where we were. We were that rash tackle by Wan-Bissaka away from winning 1-0 at Stamford Bridge. Fair play to him. All right. Carrick, I think if these 2 games were an audition for Carrick under Rangnick, I don't think he's done himself any harm, in my opinion. All right. It's just that's just wrong. And honestly, the concept of luck is something that it does make me quite angry. Because people use that word so often. Luck is you make your own luck in life. And if you're lucky, it's because you've worked yourself and put yourself into a position when an opportunity arises, you're in the right place at the right time. That's not luck. That's through your own hard work to be in that position. Of course, timing is everything, and there is a slight element of luck there. But yeah, the word luck is overused way too much in life. And these aren't lucky results. They're 2 games over full 90-minute periods where Manchester United, look, as I said, a win against Villarreal and a draw here at Stamford Bridge, 2 excellent results. And I didn't really expect either of them, not in the context of what Manchester United and the turmoil we were in going into both of the games. So fair play to Carrick. As I said, I don't know whether we're going to be seeing Carrick again at Manchester United. That may be the last time that Carrick, in a coaching capacity, is at Manchester United. I don't know. I personally think that Carrick will probably be kept on. McKenna's the one that I would have more questions about. McKenna's the one that we're still unsure as to whether or not McKenna has the capability to step up from the academy sort of positions where he was absolutely superb. Absolutely superb. Fantastic at Spurs, came to Manchester United, won the title with our under-18s. Clearly very good in a teaching position there, but when it came to the position of working with established, experienced, top level players, and there was a question mark about whether or not he's going to be. He was able to do it, and he wasn't really able to do it, to be honest. And you're saying, Carrick, no, McKenna, no. We demand the best in class. This is United. Let's fucking act like it. Now, and it's all about, as I said, it all depends on who Rangnick has to bring into the club as to whether or not everybody would be leaving the club. It's like Paul Scholes after the Watford game when we went into Villarreal, and he was like, Carrick and McKenna feeling they should all be embarrassed. They should all have left the club. And I'll be like, I can understand where you're coming from, but mate, you're not going to go into a game with no coaches. That's just not going to happen. That's an unreasonable expectation. So, yeah, it was a bit odd. And it's the same sense here. Even if it would be correct for them to all go, if Manchester United don't have coaches to come in to replace them, they won't go. Let's go down here. Ian saying, Carrick got advice for Chelsea. Sell McFred, rest Bruno. Don't forget my email sent last week. I won't, Ian. Let me go down here and read more of your comments. In terms of advice for Chelsea, Ian, as I said, I think that game there against Chelsea was influenced by Ralf Rangnick. I don't think Rangnick had a direct involvement in it, but I think in Carrick, in his head, was influenced by the fact that he knew that Rangnick was coming next. So there will be no point playing in a system that Rangnick wouldn't look at and go, okay, I can see similarities there. And I think that's what that game was. T, you're absolutely spot on here, my friend. Saying luck is when opportunity meets preparation. It's one of my favorite sayings in the world. And I swear to God, ladies and gents, it is so utterly, utterly true. People will say to me, and lots of people do say to me all the time, says, Sam, man, you are so lucky that this is your job. I'll say, yeah, I am lucky, but I've slogged. I've put in years of hard work to build all of this with all the communities that we've got here. And it doesn't happen through fortune. Of course, there's been lucky moments, but don't let anybody ever try and tell you when you've succeeded through hard work that you're just lucky. It's so ignorant. It's so unbelievably ignorant. Let's go down here. Oh, yeah. Hi, Sam. Did you see the Aditya Reds video? I did. And I had it up here. Thank you very much for reminding me there. I'm really, really glad that I was given the opportunity by Aditya to do this collaboration with him. If you haven't seen it already, it's a tribute to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Let me see if I can play a little bit on here. Don't know. No, actually, no, I'll probably get slapped down for copyright. Let's not do that. But yeah, Aditya asked me to write some words for it, so I wrote a little poem towards the end. So I would like, in fact, let me just copy the link here. It's over on Aditya Red's channel. Brilliant guy. Probably still the best when it comes to Manchester United videos. Let's go there. And yeah, I'd encourage you. I mean, you might cry on a Monday morning, but why not? Nothing wrong with crying on a Monday morning. Really enjoyed doing it. I'm glad that I was able to do that tribute for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, like I said I was going to do. Let me go down there. Karthik, there you got it. It's my brother's birthday today. His name is Krishav. Please give him a birthday shout out. Krishav, if you're watching, my friend, happy birthday to you. And big up Ralf Rangnick's Reds. Chris saying, Up TV, one of the best interactive channels. Thank you very much, Chris. Thank you very much to all the mods, to all the members, to everything that we're all doing together. Because, hey, man, it's been a crazy season so far. It's been a crazy year, couple of years. We're about to step into the Ralf Rangnick revolution, and it's going to be dead exciting. We've got a squad our squad is good, and now we've got a coach here with a proper style and a system that he's going to. Ralf Rangnick is going to come to the club and just drop his system on our club, and everybody else is going to have to adopt and adapt to it. Not the other way around. It's not going to be Rangnick coming into this Manchester United team and going, how can I change and adapt to fit this? It won't be that at all. Completely other way around, and that's what we've needed. Solskjaer was a manager who completely opposite, and that's why he was able to sort of re-establish the cultural sort of foundations that have helped, and the squad that he's left behind is in such a better cohesive shape than the one that he found. But Rangnick is what we need right now, and I'm so excited about him coming into the club. Ladies and gents, I'm going to wrap this up for this morning. It's an hour, bang on, 10 o'clock. Look at that. I think I'll be back here very, very shortly with the Rangnick official announcement. Yesterday, was a cracking result for me. Overall, I think 1-1, I'll take that at Chelsea and Villarreal. Those two games in the week that we've had. Yeah, I think it's been a good week for Manchester United. But let's see what comes next. It's going to be Ralf Rangnick ball. It's going to be hopefully Rangnick against Arsenal on Thursday. I'll be back here later on today with the official announcement. I'm also going to start recording and researching for another video looking at the 5 major things that Ralf Rangnick's got to do straight. What's his plan going to be at Manchester United straight away? I'm going to do a video on that. But thank you all very much for joining in this morning. I can't wait for this official announcement that's going to come later on. So make sure you subscribe to United People's TV. Hit your notifications bell so you don't want to miss that live stream as it comes. Because as soon as it happens, I'm going to be going live on here. But take it easy, everyone. As I said, I apologize that the arms wasn't open yesterday. Life got in the way. But don't worry about it. We'll be back next on Thursday for the Arsenal game. I'll be back here later today. Make sure you subscribe and take it easy. And tell you what, it's nearly Ralf Rangnick time. And I am excited. Jawohl!